Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the BK2, the Becker BK2 clone that I bought on AliExpress for 20 quid a few weeks ago. The default scales that come on it are fine, they're comfortable, they're good, they're well made, there's nothing wrong with it. However, I don't like black, and I don't want to have a lanyard when I lose it in the jungle, or in the forest, I mean, sorry. So I'm going to take these scales off, I'm going to make some rubber moulding with them, and then I'm going to cast some new ones. Right, let's do this. Right, there's the full tang. We'll put that to one side. We'll take the fixings and put those to one side, because everybody needs a magnetic bowl, because I'm always losing that stuff. Right, put that to one side. And here are our scales. Now the thing with these things are they're not solid, so I'm going to need to fill these in before I start moulding it. Now there's some special stuff that I need to use, because I'm using a platinum cure rubber, and that means anything that I fill this with mustn't interfere with that cure, i.e. mustn't contain sulfur or any other things that inhibit cure. This is modelling clay. This is plastiline. This is the same sort of stuff that they use to model brand new cars. You know what I mean? When you see those gigantic clay car models when they're like designing the chassis, this is the stuff. So I've never worked with this before, but I'm going to fill in here before I start setting it in rubber. So let's do that. Okay, this is the soft stuff. It ain't very soft. It's like really hard plasticine. Wow, okay. I'm going to need to heat this up a bit, I think. It's much easier to work with in thinner slices, I'm noticing. That's a good move. I was thinking I might have to warm it up in the oven a bit, but it's fine. I just need to work it into these bits. Right, you don't need to see all this, so I'll either time-lapse it or cut straight to the finished job. So, bear with. Okay, I've filled in both of these. That's good enough for what I need. It's just flat. I've done it with a ruler. Okay, now it's time to hot glue these into a container. Quick level check. Yep. Okay, I've already glued the first one. I forgot to turn the camera on. I'm just going to drizzle on a bit of glue here, and we'll see if this sticks down. It should do. Okay, we'll let this cool down, and we will get mixing our silicone rubber. This is a two-part rubber, so you just put in 100 of each, or whatever you want, equal parts, A and B by weight. By volume, not weight. Right, we'll give this a good mix. It's really viscous. It doesn't matter if I go quickly because it'll self-degas. No bubble problems. We need to give it a good mix. Need to really scrape the sides and the bottom. Get it all thoroughly mixed through. The thing is with silicone rubbers and resins, and polyurethanes, you can't really overmix them unless you run out of pot lifetime. So this has got a nice long pot lifetime of, I don't know, 30-40 minutes, a long time. Make sure you get a decent mix. When you get things failing, it's usually because you haven't put the right quantities in, or you just haven't mixed them thoroughly enough. Okay, that should do for the moment. Now this might not be enough, but I'd rather underdo it than overdo it to begin with. Right, let me just make sure I've got this the right way around. No. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's pour this in. thing with rubbers and any kind of poured polyurethane, resin, rubber, whatever it is, always best to pour in from the corner, usually with quite a tall pour, and let it find its way around the pieces. That way it'll push out all the air bubbles and you'll get a nice mould. Looks like I've mixed up just enough. This might benefit from just a little bit more sugar lumps. I think I might just go with just a bit more to be sure. Yeah, you know what? That just needs just a hair more. Right. Okay, now we leave this 4 or 5 hours. It's now about, oh god, it's now 20 past 2 in the morning. So by the time I'm in the morning, this will be all set. So let's come back to this tomorrow and we will pour some resin. Okay, it is now 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and everything has set. So what we'll do is we're going to take this out of here right now. Okay, there we are. Let's take those away. And here we have our mould. Okay, I'm just going to clean that up and I'll be right back. Now what's really interesting is you can see here there's been some real cure inhibition caused by this stuff, which is meant to be very silicone friendly, very sulfur free. So I'm kind of very unimpressed by that because I was expecting a much better result. Now it's worked, so I'm okay. If it hadn't worked, we'd be in a whole different mess right now with a whole bunch of uncured silicone stuff. So it worked out well enough and I'm happy with it, but be careful in the future. I'm not sure I would recommend this stuff. It's meant to be industry standard, so I assume I've done something wrong. Okay, I've tidied it up and taken most of the flashing, the extra bits off. It seems to be fine now. I think what we'll do now is mix up some resin and get it poured. Okay, the first one I want to do is just a straight red, a really bright handle so that I can see it in the forest when I drop it. Nothing fancy, let's just go with that. So I'm going to mix up 2 parts or equal parts of resin by volume again, not by weight. It's just that's how this one it's just a cheap Amazon one. Alright, let's do this. Alright, that's part A. Okay, there's part A in the die. And let's put the part B in, which is the hardener. Remembering to scrape the sides and the bottom regularly, because this stuff needs a really good mix. Probably be a little bit redder actually, so let's just bin this. Right, that should do it. Let's pour this. Okay, that should probably do it. Right, I've got a bit of extra spare that I'll pour. Okay, let's leave those to set. Now, there's a couple of things we need to do before we do that, actually. Okay, we'll give it a quick spritz with some ISO to get rid of the surface bubbles. And now, we wait. Okay, we're back. It's now Sunday morning. It's been a good 24 hours, and actually earlier this morning I put these into the oven at 70 degrees centigrade just to kind of try to finish the cure. This resin isn't the greatest resin, if I'm honest, but it'll work for the time being. Right, let's get these guys out. Okay, there's my mould. We'll put that to one side, put it face down, keep it dust free. We'll come back to that later. Okay, let's have another quick look at these scales. Okay, nice job. Quite a lot of bubbles in there. Didn't expect that. But for the moment, I think what we'll do is we'll get them on the... I'll sand down the underside, get it flat, and then we'll get them on the knife. Okay, I couldn't help myself. I gave it a very quick buff on the machine and then just put the scales on. So here's the finished article. I didn't go crazy with finishing or sanding or anything. There we go. It looks brilliant. It holds exactly the same as it did before, but now it's just a lot more visible for me. If you're stealth camping, this is not a good plan, obviously, but for everybody else, I think it's a really great idea. I may have a play around to do some orange or some other colours. But that looks great. Also, when you're wearing that, the red is probably going to be under a jacket or a shirt, so you're not going to see it. It means I don't need to keep a lanyard on it. I don't like lanyards. They knock around. Oops, there goes. There goes a really big clamp. So there you go. That's the Becker BK2 with new red handles by me. These are epoxy resin, but I think in future I would probably use a polyurethane plastic instead. Cheers for watching, guys. This is available for 20 quid on Temu with the standard black scales. Have a great day. Like and subscribe. Cheers. Bye.